Now, your hosts, JenniferFierro and Ben Shields.
Good Tuesday evening. Hope you've had a wonderful day. Thank you for ending it with the Coach Todd Dodge Show with you until 7:30 here at the KBEY Studios. And it was a 31-27 victory for Vandegrift over Marble Falls. And, Coach, a ball game that came down to the wire, and the Vipers able to get that last-minute touchdown. Yeah, I was just really proud of our players throughout the game. We just, we just couldn't hold on at the end. Throughout, our players played with a passion, played with an intent to win, with an expectation to win. And that's the thing that's making us better right now, is there's a confidence level, even though we came up short down the stretch here. But, I give credit to Vandegrift. They got a good football team. They had to march the length of the field, with a little bit of time left to get the winning touchdown. And so hats off to them. They clinched a playoff spot. The last 3 weeks, we've I don't know that anybody in the state has played, a 6th-ranked, a 9th-ranked, and a 16th-ranked team, back to back to back, and that's what our charge has been, and we've become better because of it. It's heartbreaking sometimes because we grind after those wins, but we haven't gotten them. But we control our own destiny now, and so we're excited about getting back to work in the last couple of days, but. Really, really proud of my football team and the way that they're staying aboard, as we all say in football. No one's jumping ship.
Coach, is this loss harder to put behind you than the one to Rouse the week before?
Oh, they all are. In our profession and in our culture of football, you have to talk about that 24-hour rule. That when you win big ones, you can't hold on to them for too long, and when you lose one, you got to get back to work. And so you don't have any other choice if you're a competitor and you want to be effective the next week. And so it was absolutely a gut-wrenching locker room after the game. But they all came back on Monday ready to go. We had a great practice yesterday. Just got off the practice field today, and so far the week of preparation is going good. And as I've told our players, you're right where you want to be. We control our own destiny. The Texas high school playoffs they come to Mustang Stadium this Friday night. And, I need this football team. I don't need this football team needs, everybody to come out to the game, and to really pack that stadium up and be really, really loud and make it a deal where we've got a great home field advantage this Friday night, because if we win our next 3 games, and we're going to the playoffs, and so it's a lot of pressure on our kids, but that's just that's where it is. Now, I know you don't believe in moral victories, but these last 2 ball games, you're up 14-0 against Rouse a couple weeks ago, and then had the lead against Vandegrift late. Is it easy in practice to say, guys, we're that close, and to push them over that edge? Yeah, there's no doubt that there's we spent a lot of time in the off season, breaking down all of our games last year and looking at the ones that 4 or 5 plays, that make the difference, and they're even getting fewer now. But we are very close. And as a point, you got to kind of learn how to win. And our players we're getting closer against. But the thing about it is, it's against some really good people. And as I've told them, we don't have the luxury that maybe somebody in the state has of playing, subpar teams during district play. We've got to come and play our best, and so we are definitely getting better.
Coach, describe the fine line between playing not to lose versus playing to win.
Well, I think that a great example was the first half of the Cedar Park game. Trying to survive, trying to stick around. And the last 2 games were just turning it loose and playing. And, the thing I just got through talking to my team about right before I got here was, the idea of playing with great passion and playing with great effort has been there. I don't I don't worry about that right now as a head coach. I think our players, we're beyond that. If we get beat because we didn't play hard, then we really don't deserve to be in this great game. But what we've got to do is play extremely hard, extremely passionate, extremely smart. We got to play good. We got to play well. We got to execute, and it really is going to come down to this Friday night. Of, we've been together 2 years now. We execute our offense, defense, kicking game better than they do.
And as we're going along, are you seeing the offense and defense executing better?
Well, defensively, yes. Offensively, we changed some things personnel wise, and so in the way that we practice. We've gotten some things shored up on defense. Offensively, and again, a lot of it has to do with the caliber of people we're playing. We're not as consistent as we were. We've got to get back to some consistency throughout. We're still doing some really good things, but to get in the get a seat at the table, as we've been saying all along, we've got to get back offensively the way we were playing a little earlier in the season. Kicking game needs to get back to a consistency, especially our kickoff return team, and then defensively, we've got to take the momentum that we've had over the last some good things over the last couple of weeks and be even better this Friday night.
Also, a neat thing to see last Friday night was when they were coming out of the Mustang helmet. Carson was in a wheelchair, and they walked behind him, and you could just see the unity between this team and Carson.
Well, I mean, he is a guy that I called him on the way to the game and didn't expect to get him. He just had surgery, major surgery. To me, that's major surgery, an ACL repair on Friday morning. And I talked to him, and he sounded pretty good. And he said, I said, well, Carson, I just called and check on you, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. I'll call and check on you tomorrow. He goes, well, I'm probably going to be at the game tonight, Coach. And I said, you're kidding me. It's just the kind of kid he is. He wanted to be there for his teammates, and it was very inspirational, to be honest with you.
If you weren't at the game, what happened is he was in a wheelchair, and he came out in the wheelchair, and he was leading the team out, and they all walked behind him, linked in arms, and it was pretty neat to see.
Coach, was the Vandegrift secondary, you had talked about that being the strength of their defense. I thought that they matched up very well against Marble Falls. Do you feel like that was a great test for your receivers? And just talk about those battles all night.
No doubt. They have, really four returning starters from last year, played a lot of high school football, and they're good. And they do a nice job, and we knew that coming in. We were able to get some things on them and execute some stuff on them. They got a pick on us early in the game that, our first drive, we were moving the ball really well, got inside the red zone and undercut us on a route, and it was a nice play. But overall, that's one of the better secondaries that we faced, throughout the year, and because of the veterans that they have in the secondary.
All right, that was a 31-27 final. Vandegrift on top of the Mustangs. We've got highlights from that ball game coming up. It is the Coach Todd Dodge Show on KBEY 103.9 and Northland Channel 15. It's brought to you by Discount Beds and More in Marble Falls. We're back after this. The highlight section of the Coach Todd Dodge Show. So we get right to it. Vandegrift was up 7-0, but in the Mustangs, they strike.
9:10 to play. Ball back to Wooten to throw. He's got time again. Now steps up, fires downfield. Garrett Gray gets behind his man. He's got it. Touchdown. Touchdown. Wooten to Garrett Gray. 41 yards again. A man to the face of Wooten finds Gray down the right side. And it's 7-6. The Mustangs an extra point away from tying this game up.
Vandegrift, they go down and get that touchdown, but then your team comes back, and Wooten finds his favorite receiver, Garrett Gray.
Well, it was... a deal where it was a great read by Brennan, because they came in, a lot of people coming in with the idea of doubling Garrett, and that he had been doubled early in the ball game, and we'd been going elsewhere. The same play on the first or second drive of the game, he hit Zuri Buchanan on a 3rd and 15 for about 25 or 30 yards, because his read took him off of Garrett and brought him back to the middle field that particular time. They spun the coverage the other way, and the boundary safety spun back to the middle field, and he got one-on-one. He three-stepped with a hitch and put it on him. And those are the type of reads and the type of maturity that I've started to expect from Brennan.
Is that a read you would have seen 4 or 5 weeks ago from Brennan?
Oh yeah, he's been making those reads all year long. He's been very consistent with it. I always tell him we're in a partnership. It's my job to help him be the very best he can be, and it's his job to study it and stay confident. there were some mistakes that were made. There was a little bit of, a little antsy feet and stuff, but he made some outstanding reads as we went through the ball game on just our base, passing game. So I was proud of him on that.
All right, it's 14-7 now as Vandegrift goes back on top. But again, the Mustangs, they strike quickly.
3rd down and goal at the 3. Wooten in the shotgun. Wants the throw. Here's pressure. Rolling to his left. He's looking. He's going to tuck. Now he's going to throw in the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown. That's Skoning, the sophomore, making an impact. Gets it. 3 yards. That's going to be Wooten to Skoning. Looked like he was going to tuck and run. Pulls up at the last second. Finds Skoning on the side of the end zone. Touchdown Mustangs. An extra point away from tying this ball game up with 1:20 to go in the half. An impressive 85-yard drive.
And Skoning was a kid that was just moved up to the varsity to start district play.
And the extra point was good, tying it up at 14.
Well, Kylan Skoning is a guy that he's got a ton of potential. He's young. We did bring him up from the JV. He actually had a broken arm earlier in the year. So with the injury to Ty Coffey and with the injury to Carson Bowen, he's come up and along with James Breyer kind of tag teaming that X position. But that was just a tremendous job of extending a play by Brennan. We had the concept was a little bunch concept that we wanted to get Garrett on the high part of the end zone and get Zuri on the front of it, and he got flushed out. And that was about his 5th place to go with the football, and he bought himself time and got it to Kylan, and it was a big play for us.
Coach, how much of that play is Brennan improvising versus the two of you going over the X's and O's together during study?
Well, so much of it, with when he breaks and makes plays, outside the pocket, that's, part of, there's always an internal clock by the quarterback when it's time to get out and make plays, and he has done a tremendous job of that as we've gone through the season. The thing with Brennan is he's becoming, almost before our eyes, becoming more and more athletic. This time last year, as a freshman, he was kind of like a wobbly colt at times, and just he's growing so fast and everything. And now, he's really becoming a guy that that can run a little bit and is becoming more and more athletic, and that's going to bode well for us in the future.
All right, so we go to the 3rd quarter and a big turnover by the Mustangs defense.
Here's Hudson in the shotgun. Brandon to his left. 3 receivers to the right. Has the snap. Hudson looking to throw. He's got time. Throwing deep downfield for Priedemann. It's picked off. Intercepted. That's Aiden Parnell at midfield. Gets a block out of bounds at the 47. It was thrown up, and there's Aiden. The senior been making plays all evening.
And another big play by Aiden.
Well, he has stepped up and become a leader like no other on our team this year with his play, with his encouragement, with his just a tremendous attitude. I love Aiden to death. He's just a really good high school football player and a guy that has a tremendous love for his football team. And he's one of those guys that we're going to have down the stretch. We have to have it mean a whole lot to a lot of seniors, and it definitely does to Aiden Parnell.
And that interception sets up another Wooten to Gray connection.
Wooten in the shotgun, drove to his right, has the snap. It was high, gets it, has time, has a nice pocket. Now he's going to his right. He can run if he wants to. He's looking for the edge. Now he's going to fire for the end zone for Gray. Coming back for it. He catches it. Touchdown. Touchdown Mustangs. 1-play drive. And Wooten finds Gray in the end zone, 32 yards. And the Mustangs had their first lead. 2014, 10:37 to go in the 3rd. That is huge.
Oh, it was just a fabulous play.
What a play by Gray to go for it in the end zone.
Well, that was a play that we put on at halftime. It's one that we've run before, but we switched J.T. Watson and Garrett because Garrett was getting so much attention that we thought we could slip J.T. on what we call a slice route down the middle of the field, and they trailed it. Actually, should have probably been a holding penalty on their corner, but he had hold of J.T.'s jersey. Well, again, Brennan extends the play. Garrett was on a smash route with a corner route, and then saw the scramble happen, and then went deep, and Brennan put it on him, and good things usually happen. We put it up to our big 6'5" guy.
And so the Mustangs defense, they force another turnover, and here we go again for the Mustangs offense.
Wooten has it, the throw, has a pocket, has time, Left corner of the end zone. Watson, he's open. He's got it. Touchdown, Mustangs. Touchdown, Mustangs. 10 yards. Wooten to Watson in the corner. 2-possession ball game at 27-14 with 8:36 to go in the third.
And credit the offensive line again. Solid wall for Brennan. Never had to move.
The extra point is blocked, and Vandegrift takes that for 2 points. How big of a change was that, Coach, that block and 2 points?
Huge, but I will comment on Jennifer's commentary there. It was tremendous pass protection on that play. That was another one of those plays that is a staple. That particular route concept is a staple of our passing game. It was hit 4 different times during the game. It went to Garrett on a glance route on the backside. It went to Zuri on an under route on the backside. It went to JT when they got a pass interference early in the game, and then went to JT for a touchdown. So a very productive concept, and the young quarterback read it right all 4 times, and on the offensive line was tremendous protection. Now we attempt the extra point. Officials. It was, to me, it was an obvious offsides, on in real time when we looked at it, they missed it, and I can't, but that's stuff you have to live with. There is no instant replay, and that would be instant replayed anyway, but that's one of those deals that they blocked it because he got a jump and they returned it, and it's not excuse, shouldn't have been the reason we lost, but it really changed the ebb and flow of the ball game as we went into it, and we didn't recover after that.
All right, Coach, let's talk about your defense a little bit again, forcing the two turnovers, and what'd you like most about your defensive effort?
Well, defensive line, first of all, Sean Paris, a senior, was our most productive player. He had just a heck of a game. Mitchell Mullinex playing really well. Jason Lenore has continued. He just plays so hard. Those 3 guys especially. We started playing Tyler Ryan on defense 3 weeks ago, and he's made a tremendous impact, just on communication, and he's just a fiery little player. Travis Dilworth had a tremendous game the other night. So we had a lot of guys. We hit on our 11 defensive goals. We haven't hit on many this year, and we hit on 7 of 11. During that game. Namely, we forced 6 3-and-outs during the game. We forced 6 punts, and we got off the field 83% of the time on 3rd down. If we continue to play like that, in our offense will get back a little bit more consistency. Things are good are going to happen for the Mustangs.
Coach, I just wanted to ask you one thing before we move on about the offensive line, because I remember on 3rd and long, Brennan scrambled out to his right. He had a key block from one of his offensive linemen who allowed him to get around the corner, and I don't remember if that was Chance or Drake, but I thought it was just such a great block. Can you talk about the fact that offensive linemen like to know where their quarterbacks are, and how the offensive line are not giving up on Brennan, and they are trailing him to give him that extra wall to not allow him to get more yaks?
Well, it's one of those deals that when he breaks, obviously, the guys got to keep playing to the whistle, and they got to keep looking for work, as we call it. Look for work, and the thing about our offensive line is there's times they played well, and we've got to continue to improve as we go forward. I'd like to be able to keep him in the pocket a little bit more. Some of the times that he's having to get off because we've missed some blocks here and there, but overall, it's one of those deals that we're a team that's going to try to spread the ball around and throw the ball, and we're going to run it when, we get the numbers advantage. But overall, they've done a nice job.
This is the Coach Todd Dodge Show on KBEY 103.9, Texas Best Country, and Northland Channel 15, brought to you by Discount Beds and More. We look forward to this Friday's opponent, the Vista Ridge Rangers, right here on KBEY 103.9. We'll be back.
Now, once again, here's Ben Shields and JenniferFierro.
And we appreciate Coach Dodge joining us with us every Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock. That's our new time, 7 o'clock here at the KBEY Studios, 1007 Avenue K. So Vista Ridge comes to town Friday night in a big 25-4A matchup. Vista Ridge comes in at 4-3, 1-2 in district play. So, Coach, a big ball game you've got to win out, and it starts Friday night.
Well, I tell you what, I just want to thank for the past, in the season and last year, the type of support that we've had from our fans. But I'm going to tell you, everybody in Marble Falls that's listening, we got to have you out. We got to have you. The old thing that Coach Brown said, when he first got to University of Texas is, come early, stay late, wear purple and be loud, be really loud, because we need to turn Mustang Stadium to a great home field advantage for these kids, because we're at a situation right now that the three teams we played the last 3 weeks pretty much have all clinched, not mathematically, but pretty much. They've clinched. And then they've got four teams left, ourselves included, and that are involved for the last playoff spot. And the fortunate thing for us is we play the other three the next 3 weeks. And so with that, we kind of control our own deal. Now it's just a matter of us going out and taking care of business. And that's easier said than done in this league, because Vista Ridge is a very good team. That's a great challenge against a team that's, been to the playoffs like they have. They're an outstanding team that is young in some areas like we are. They remind me a lot of each other as far as as far as the number of players. Tremendous running back Stedman Mayberry, a tremendous defensive end in Micah Thomas. Quentin Patton, number 44, the free safety, is an outstanding player. They've got several, good little wide receivers. A lot of speed on this team. This is probably the fastest team overall. You kind of look at the results of the district track meet last year, and Vista Ridge was, winning the 4x1 and the 4x2, and having people that are qualifying in the 100 and the 200. So they got some speed.
And they've got a sophomore quarterback just like you do.
Yeah, they got a kid named Snow that's doing a nice job running their show, and it looks like they were searching, and they settled on the young one earlier in the season.
You said that Stedman, this team, probably the fastest team y'all faced so far. Is that what makes Stedman so great? Is once he gets by the line of scrimmage, he can accelerate and get to his top speed?
Well, I think he's an impressive back. He will run with power. He's not the biggest guy in the world. Looks like he's a good weight room kid. Gets behind his pads, make you miss in space. Very patient runner at times. And yeah, he can skedaddle a little bit. I mean, he can get up and go, and he's one of those, home run threats. Is a threat to take the distance at any time.
How does the Rangers' rushing attack, how does it differ from Cedar Park, Rouse, and Vandegrift?
Very similar. Very similar. They, the Vandegrift, Cedar Park, Rouse, this bunch, probably a little bit, when you look at Cedar Park and you look at definitely Vandegrift, they were pretty quarterback oriented. It kind of started with quarterback. Their quarterback was the leading rusher, for them. This bunch, I mean, they've got a feature back, where several of the other teams that we've played kind of do it by committee, and they do, they may have 350 yards rushing, but 7 different guys. Stedman is a guy, he was out a couple of games early in the year, and a young sophomore running back named Flip Valaire came in and filled in nice, and he's still getting some touches. And they've got a couple wide receivers, J.D. Hill and Delonte Singleton, that are both about 5'8", 155 pounds, that can really run, and they like to get the ball on speed sweeps and jailbreak screens, stuff like that to them.
Is it easier to defend this kind of an offense when you have a true featured back as opposed to a quarterback who has options of pitching the ball out, tossing it, keeping it?
It's really it's a toss-up. I mean, that this bunch is dangerous because of the talent, the speed that they have. The other bunches, the Cedar Parks, or because of their depth, at running back. So I don't know that any one is either easier or harder to defend than the other. It's just they run a lot of the same plays, and it's definitely part of our league that wants to run the football. And so we got to stop the run again. And our kids answered the bell the other night. We only gave up 208 yards rushing to a Vandegrift team that was averaging 315 yards a game. So that's something we got to go do again.
It is the Coach Todd Dodge Show on KBEY 103.9 and Northland Channel 15. When we come back and wrap up the show, we've got our fan question of the day. It's brought to you by Discount Beds and More in Marble Falls.
Back to the program with Ben Shields and JenniferFierro.
It is the Coach Todd Dodge Show, brought to you by Discount Beds and More, not only on KBEY 103.9, but also Northland Channel 15. Coach, before we go, we've got our fan question. It comes from Mark, and he says, Coach, I sure hope the Mustangs know how proud we are of their efforts this season. And he says, I really think they will end up grabbing the last playoff spot from Leander on the last game of the season, not to overlook Vista Ridge or Dripping Springs, of course. But he wants to know, what do you feel is the one remaining key that the Mustangs may need in order to solidify their spot among the elite of District 25 3A, or do they already have it all in place and they just need that one pivotal victory to be the catalyst?
Well, Mark, we appreciate your support and thanks for the comments, but it is a deal where it's a win getting over the hump, and it's one of those deals of putting it all together. We are starting to come together, defensively playing better, offensively. The injury to Carson Bowen / Ty Coffey hurt us, but we've got to come back from that. That's something that's kind of put us behind the 8 ball a little bit, and we've got to come back from that. But I really think that this team is improving. We're doing some really good things against some really good people. I mean, we moved the ball well on defending state champions. We played really good defense at times against the defending semifinalists and moved the ball. We went toe-to-toe with a team that's 6-1 last week, and I'm sure that they'll make a nice run in the playoffs this year. So we're making some progress against some good people, and we just got to put it together and get over the hump. And hopefully it'll be this Friday night that we get it.
All right, Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck against the Vista Ridge Rangers, and we look forward to talking to you next Tuesday night.
Thank you. Y'all have a great week. See you Friday.
This has been the Coach Todd Dodge Show, brought to you by Discount Beds and More. Thank you so much for joining us. Again, the game 7 o'clock right here on KBEY Friday night, but make it out to Mustang Stadium and support the Mustangs.